This video is brought to you by Fallen Dominion Studios. Check out their website at fallendominionstudios.com.
It's not. There's a few ways it might be.
The next person who says spiritual successor.
It's the spiritual successor.
What's going on, guys?
Oh, nothing, Brian. Are you ready to do the Rising Sun review?
Yeah. Oh, so you bought the game. Awesome.
Yeah, it's mine now. Yeah, absolutely.
Wait a minute. You didn't do the Kickstarter.
You're right.
This is Greg's.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to have it back. It is mine now. And I'll stop him from getting it.
I don't think that's fair.
It doesn't matter if it's fair.
I have an alliance with Greg, and I can't allow you to keep that game.
You could betray the man.
My honor will not allow it.
Get over here!
Well, I'm going to have to do what I must to stop you. I'll let you have it every other weekend.
Do you think this is divorce court?
Sure, why not?
Okay, that's
Cool. T?
All right.
Hey there, welcome to the Dice Odyssey. I'm Kas.
I'm Brian's son.
And we're enjoying the T phase of Rising Sun. Today, we're coming to you with one of the most anticipated Kickstarters, I think, of all time. I mean, I think it raised several $1 million. How much was it again?
$4
million.
$4 million. I mean, a goal of 300,000.
Yeah, so several times what it was asking for. This game is by CMON, cool money or not, and Eric Lang is
the designer.
Yeah, and Adrian Smith's
the art.
Yep. Yeah, this game we've been waiting to get it. Our friend, like I said in the intro, it's our friend Greg's copy. He actually went in for the Kickstarter. I think he went the whole route, right?
He went all out.
He went all out.
Practically all out. There's a few things I don't think he got, but...
Yeah, and I was dumb enough not to jump on it when I should have. And, at the same time, I'll be honest, when I first saw this, I was thinking, why do I need Blood Rage 2.0? I'm just being honest. Blood Rage, as you know, if you've watched this channel for any course of time, is my absolute #1 favorite game. But the fact is when I saw this, the Viking theme for me draws me in more than necessarily the samurai thing, the Japanese thing. And I think it's different for you,
It's
right?
different for me. The Viking thing, when I got into it, people going to hate. Let haters hate, but I didn't like Blood Rage that much.
He's a hater. He really is.
This game right here, this is all on like Donkey Kong right here.
Yeah.
This is just fantastic. The artwork and everything just brings you into the whole Japanese theme of this.
I went into it very skeptical, just being honest with you. And I'm going to tell you what I feel about after we go to the part where I show you a little bit of the rules overview on how to play it. This is not for teachings, just to give you an idea of how to play. First thing, you've got several different clans that you can choose from. Got the Lotus clan, Dragonfly clan, so on and so forth. Once you choose a clan, you will then gain the warriors that go along with that clan. You've got several bushi, which have no base markers, color markers, to differentiate them. They've got 2 different models, and they're basically your standard fighting force. You've got 3 Shinto. Those are marked by 3 white symbols here. And you've got a daimyo, which is marked by your black symbol. It's basically the leader in a sense. The cool thing about the Shinto is that they actually can be used for a fighting force. They can go out on the board, or they go to the shrines up here where the kami are. There's 4 different shrines on the top of the board here. You got several shrines you can lay out, but these are the 4 that we've chosen. And what they do is they can go up there and worship at the kami phase when you get to it, okay? And what happens is during that time, you get the blessings that each kami will grant you if you have the majority on there when you get up to it, okay? Now, the basic premise of the game is you're trying to get the most points by conquering provinces and just being the clan with the most points at the end of the game. That's the person that's going to win. Each clan is going to have their own different kind of specific power they can use in-game. For example, the Lotus clan, they can dictate the flow. When you choose a political mandate, place it face down. It can be any mandate you wish. Each clan has different numbers of coins they also receive at the beginning of the game, and coins are going to come into play heavily in this game. And you also have a starting honor rank. Now, honor matters quite a bit, because the honor track there is going to be something that is your main tiebreaker, okay? So the highest is going to be the person with the highest honor, the lowest is the person with the lowest. I mean, what I said about doing the Shinto, taking them up to worship the kamis, as you can see, we got purple and blue. They're ready to worship. They get to that phase. Oh no, they're matched on power, so nobody's getting that blessing. But guess what? The person with the highest honor, they break that tie. So the purple one's going to have it because they have higher honor than the other one. So now you're also going to be gaining your own alliance token. It's basically a yin-yang symbol. And in the beginning, see, a game takes place over 3 seasons. Technically, there is a 4th. It's the winter season. That's where you actually score the in-game points. And over the course of each season, you're going to have several different little phases. You're going to have, first off, the T phase, where you make an alliance with somebody, okay? That's the beginning phase each season or round. And then what you're doing there is, if you make an alliance with somebody, if you do something in terms of a political mandate, if there is an extra bonus for it for your allies, that's who's going to gain it. It's whoever you allied with, okay? So you're going to have the political mandate phases here. You're going to have 3 of those. In between each one of those, you're going to have a commie phase when it hits that signpost. Another political mandate commie, another political mandate commie, and then you get to the war phase, and that's when the battles start happening. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Now, whoever's turn it is going to get a pile of tiles here. They're going to pull several out of the stack, and then what they're going to do is they're going to flip them over and to themselves choose one. Okay, so you got different things like train, marshal, harvest, and so on and so forth. And then what you're going to do is say, okay, I want to use that, and you're going to lay it down right there into one of those slots to show that's what you've chosen. And keep in mind, your ally is typically going to get those bonuses. Well, let's take a look at what each one of them does. You have recruit, okay? All players, you can summon one figure at each of their strongholds Shinto may worship. That's how you make them. That's how you make them worship in between the kami phases. And you and an ally can summon an additional figure. And by the way, Kickstarter edition, this is going to be what your strongholds look like. These are where you're going to be able to mainly summon, so you can actually place them in different provinces, so you can actually summon warriors there, okay? If you do marshal, all players can move their figures across one border or shipping route. If you notice, these right here, these dotted lines are the shipping routes. And if you get some upgrades later on in the game, you can actually tax people for using that. Or you can move people across those shipping routes or across borders. So it's cool. You can do that. You and an ally may also build a stronghold for up to 3 coins. So, like I said, you can build more strongholds in the map. Train. Okay, you get to go first in this. All players can buy one available season card, pay its cost. You and an ally basically pay 1 coin less. And what season cards, you're going to have different card sets for each season. For example, this is the spring, and you're going to have different kinds of upgrades and oni or monsters and what have you that you can actually summon or upgrade your clan with. For example, you can use a virtue card. If you pay the 2 coins up top, this one says for each of your figures that is killed, you gain victory points. That's cool. The Earth Dragon counts as 3 force. At start of battle, you may move one figure from each other player out of this province. So this dragon can actually move people out, shove them out of the way, so you can actually get a little bit of a better edge in the province in terms of majority. Or you can have war upgrades. At start of war phase, you gain 3 coins, and coins are huge in the war phase. And again, like I said, you can summon monsters and oni and so on and so forth. Also, there's enhancements. There's a bushi upgrade, your main soldiers. After you summon, you may place an extra bushi in any of your strongholds. So each season, you're going to have a set of these cards. They're laid out for everybody to see. It's a public economy you can buy from, okay? And that's how that works. You also have the Harvest political mandate. All players collect a coin, but you and an ally collect rewards from each province you have superior force. So, for example, if you look down here, these little spots here are showing you what kind of rewards you get for harvesting, okay? So, for example, this spot right here says, hey, I get 3 coins if I have the superior majority in there, and I do because I've got more than the red. I get that bonus from harvesting. This one says I get 3 victory points. This one says I get an extra Ronin, a coin, and a victory point. Now, Ronin are going to be used in the war phase, and they can add extra force, strength, basically, to your majority, help you win battles. And also the main one, you can betray on a political mandate. Replace any 2 figures from different players on the map with one of your own. And if you have an alliance, you can break it and lose honor. And that's what you call the jerky thing to do, but sometimes it helps you in terms of winning the game, because ultimately there can be only one. Once you've gone through all the political mandates and the kami phases and done all the worshiping and such, now you get into the war phase. And this is where this player board flips over to reveal, hey, things that you can do in warfare. Okay, what's going to happen is each player that's involved in different provinces, if they've got characters, as long as you're not allied with them, you can't fight allies. But if you got characters in each province, then you can use them in battle, and you can add strength to them in different ways, and so on and so forth. But in this case, what you're going to do is you're actually going to take coins. And keep in mind, every round you're going to lose these coins and get a new set, kind of starting from zero in a way. And you use these and you put them on different spots to bid. And what you're doing is you're doing this behind the screen because you're trying to blind bid. You don't want anybody else to know what you're doing. And you're hoping you outbid your opponents in that way, okay? So, for example, if you outbid opponent on seppuku, you can kill all your figures, and you gain honor and victory points for each figure killed. You can take a hostage. These do go in order, so if somebody seppukus and wins that, you may not be able to do some of the other things here, but it just depends on what happens. Take hostage. You may take one hostage, and you can take a victory point from an opponent. You get that hostage back next round, but they're getting paid a ransom, I think, from the bank. You can hire Ronin. You may add those Ronin tokens to your force. So if you're, hoping you're going to win in a province out here on the battlefield, you can actually add Ronin to add more strength to it. You can do Imperial Poets. You gain victory points for every figure killed. That's the battle outcome. So again, that's what you're trying to do with the coins. So you have to strategically be careful how you use coins in the game. Now, if you look, there's a battle flag here, and there's battle flags, or there may be tokens, depending on the version you have, all over the place, showing you which provinces are actually going to go into battle. Not all of them are going to have it every round. They're going to be different. But as you notice, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. What that basically means is that's where the battles are going to happen in sequence, okay? And what you're trying to do is you're trying to win these tiles right here, because these are going to count for points at the end of the game. And every season is going to have different points for each season. For example, the first season's 1, second season's 2, third season's 3 points. These are for in-game scoring, okay? So you want to try to win these tiles in battle because they're really going to bump you up at the end of the game. Finally, after the 3 seasons are ended, you go into the winter phase and you tally up your points. Person with the most points at the end wins. So, Brian, what did you think of the production quality? Let's start with that.
Production quality is top-notch. I mean, this game, when Greg brought this over and started pulling everything out, my jaw just dropped on this.
You weren't alone in that. Definitely weren't alone in that.
Granted, a lot of this stuff that we have here is on the Kickstarter. Kickstarter exclusives on some of these things.
Right.
If you're going to get this game, or you haven't played it yet, first, let me strong a little warning here. Buy the retail version first, play it, and then play somebody's copy with the Kickstarter stuff.
Yeah.
That's just a little warning.
It will spoil the snot out of you. I mean, you're really going to sit here and go, oh, this isn't plastic anymore. This isn't plastic. There's just a ton of plastic in this game, from beautiful miniatures to the pieces.
This is the Kickstarter version is what really pulls it in for me, especially being, I love the Japanese culture, the artwork. It's phenomenal.
The board artwork's
these
amazing.
Little mandate tiles right here. Key. I mean, this is one of the things that really brought it home for me. I love these. It's like little mahjong tiles.
Turn them around and let them see the art. I mean, they're etched in.
Yeah, they're etched
in and colorful.
The
political mandate tiles.
They're phenomenal. I love these little things.
Dude. All right, ally with me, why don't you?
The yin yangs, Wonder Twin powers combined.
Yeah.
These plastic, right here,
thick,
awesome. Like little raptor claws.
Yeah.
Not Veloci.
Oops. Sorry, Greg. But yeah, the production's amazing. I was fascinated by it. As a matter of fact, you see some of these colors on here on these miniatures.
Yeah.
This is from Greg. He's been painting these. But typically, you're going to be getting, if you hadn't seen another review of this already, you're going to be getting the gray. All right. So, or if you have your standard army people, what have you, Shintos and Bushis and things like that, they're going to be different colors according to your clans.
Different bases on them for your dynamos and your Bushis, and
thick cardboard for your kami, which you're going to send your Shintos to actually go and worship to gain blessings from the gods, so to speak.
Little player boards you can flip over, so you have one phase on one side and another phase on the other. So you kind of have, it's kind of a quick reference, really, for your political mandates, so you know what each one of them does. Then your war here. You just flip it over, and it makes it easy because when you're looking at it, you just flip it right over, and it's right side up. You don't have to figure out which side.
It's not fiddly at all.
Yeah,
nothing in this game is really fiddly. You know, I mean, yeah, you're dealing with a lot of pieces, but really everything works like a well-oiled machine.
This was pretty quick for me to learn. I don't know about how well you grasped a hold of it or not.
It wasn't. It was. Let me go off the bat and say this. I'm the guy that was sitting on the fence the whole time. I went into this with the wrong expectations. I think is what my problem was. The first game I played it. I was enjoying it.
You were trying to play this like it was Blood Rage.
That's the problem.
Instead of a entirely different game.
That's the problem, and I think a lot of people, or at least some people, are going to go into this thinking that this is a spiritual successor to Blood Rage, and in a lot of ways, it's not. There's a few ways it might be.
The next person who says spiritual successor.
It's the spiritual successor.
It's not. It's just an overused term for this game, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's an majority area control game, and in that way, Blood Rage is very similar. It's almost like, I don't want to call it dudes on a map, but it basically is that. But at the same time, it's got so many subtle differences and then some big differences, especially with things like this honor track, with the ways that the battles, you set them up. What did you think about the way the phases are done? For example, starting with the political mandates. Did you like that?
I really like the political mandates and how they start off. I mean, you got your first stage, which is your T, which is your alliance.
Yeah.
Which was great.
That's
you can sit there, you can negotiate, you can do whatever you want, and when you first start the game, you're not negotiating.
No, you're just like, hey, well, connect me because
you're gonna ally.
You're my buddy. That's
whoever
really what you're doing.
Whoever knows more about the game is who you want to ally with.
Yeah,
but
that's why everybody was allying with Greg at first. Like, come on, man, me next, because I don't know what I'm doing yet.
You start with that, then you throw down a political mandate, so everybody gets the opportunity to do that mandate.
Now, at the same time, the ally part of it,
there's a bonus right there with the ally. The allies will have the ability to piggyback off that with an extra bonus.
That's right.
With training, what was it for training?
You buy one available season card. You and ally pay one. You get a discount.
Less.
It's like a coupon.
For recruit, you get to build a stronghold. No, that's martial. You get to build a stronghold.
Right.
Which is phenomenal.
Harvest, and the thing about the board here is you got so many different spots for harvesting. Right, you can harvest points, more Ronin to hire during the war phase, coins to make yourself wealthier, and if you do harvest the political mandate there, then you and your ally alone get that harvest. Everybody else gets like a coin.
There's one guy that allows you to get that if you're in that area and you have the majority control. If you're on the other alliance or not allied with anybody, that one figure will allow you to get the.
That's true. Yeah, there's different that's your upgrades in the game.
You can acquire him, I believe, in the first season. But you go through 3 political mandates to start with. Then you go through the commie phase, which if you don't have any of your Shintos up there, then you can't claim any of those. And if you and somebody else have a Shinto up there, it goes by the highest honor.
Yeah, it's a tiebreaker.
It takes you through, different phases on here, and you do 3 political mandates, then you do 2, then you do 3, and it's
in between each. You get a commie phase where you get some of those bonuses.
And probably the closest thing it comes to the drafting, like a card drafting, or you drafting these political mandates and you're choosing which one you want. It's Kaz or allied. He might want me to play a harvest on there.
That's right.
Because he's got a lot of control here, and he can get a lot of money or a lot of victory points.
I gained a ton of points in one game. Greg and I kept on harvesting over and over and over again.
Yeah, y'all did like 3 harvests.
And here's the other thing. We talked about the negotiation at the beginning. When even as we kept on playing this, I honestly kept thinking the negotiation wasn't really that pronounced in the game. But then it's like when you first start out. Now the rules say you can even go and talk about it with your
you can talk about
ally.
You can negotiate to become an ally, but it's one of those things. The negotiation is not really for everybody. I mean, especially when you first get into this, you're not going to know, like, well, how am I going to negotiate for what?
It's going to take a few plays to get into that, really. Maybe by the second.
Really, your first game, there's probably not going to be a lot of negotiation. Not first game, but first round. Your first season, you're not going to really have a lot of negotiations involved. Because
not really.
The board's really kind of empty. But when you get to the second season and the third season, negotiations really would get really heavy.
Well, I'm saying that what I mean by not as pronounced is what I mean is when it comes to the beginning part, when you're actually making your alliances.
Yeah.
Even now, granted, yeah, like you said, it starts picking up in the second and third rounds. The first round's just okay. We have to figure things out where we're going to actually put our guys and this, that, and the other. But what I found to be the case was the negotiation became more pronounced throughout the game, not just in those beginning alliance sessions. Because like I remember at one point, Parrish was like, "Kas, if you'll just play this mandate or at least do this, then we could actually really benefit off of this alliance." And we were talking about that in game, in front of the people, cross talking. And at that point, that's when this game started really shining for me.
See, that's not really negotiating. That's just really talking and trying to figure out what your ally is doing so you can help each other out.
Well, it's still a negotiation, though, because at the same time, remember, these can be, you can have a betrayal.
Yeah,
you can have a betrayal where you actually take, I think it's, what is it, one figure? No, you place any two figures from different players on the map with one of your own. If you have an alliance, you break it and you lose honor. And that's another key thing in this game. Honor on this track is going to be so essential, especially when it gets to the upgrades like the Kami that you and the Oni. Not the Oni, I mean,
like, there's so much strategy involved in this game. You can go so many different ways with this, like with the honor.
It is not a luck fest at all.
No,
it is not
with
a luck
the honor
fest.
on this, it doesn't matter. You can be high or low. The honor affects you in different ways. You may grab some cards, virtue cards or upgrade cards.
Different season cards.
You may grab some of those that may require you to have high honor. And there's going to be
some that are low
honor.
So you can play however you want and tailor this game to your style.
I love that one monster you grabbed that I was looking at. You move in and anybody that has higher honor than you steal 2 victory points from.
I really like the fact that every clan starts out completely asymmetrical. He's going to be different than I am. And for example, like let me give you one that I really like: the Lotus clan. The dictate the flow. When you choose a political mandate, it doesn't matter what it says. With your power, you can turn it face down instead of face up like you're supposed to. Turn it face down and be like, I'm going to make it this. That is one of the most powerful abilities in the entire game.
I'm a politician. I'm going to do whatever I want.
Yeah, but I mean, when it comes down to it, the key is that every clan's power is so well balanced. At first, I thought that some of the clans had more powerful abilities than others.
Well, like one,
playing more clans, I'm starting to realize how set up they are. I wasn't sure about
the Lotus clan. I started playing the yellow ones. They seem kind of weird.
No, the purple one. You're thinking of the.
I'm sorry, the bonsai clan.
Yeah, Sacred Bounty.
Yeah, the bonsai clan. They start off with 4 coins. It's like, man, what do they do? But you get
discounts.
Everything costs of 1. So when you go to buy your monsters, it costs 1. And if your ally threw down the train card where it allows you get a monster for free.
Absolutely.
That was phenomenal. I love that part on that one.
The other thing I had, I wasn't so certain that I was going to like, and I'm just being honest with you. If anybody's played Cry Havoc, you know that battle system. It's a little bit unique, right? Well, in this game, not only are you looking at area majority and what you basically have in the field according to other people next to you, and also your honor, you're also looking at this system where you flip over and now you're basically blind bidding. You're trying to outbid each other on money, okay, to pick whether or not you're going to commit seppuku. You kill all your figures, gain points and honor for each.
When you do the seppuku, you don't have to do it.
No, you don't. No, I'm saying you can choose any one of these. Is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. You can take a hostage. You can hire Ronin. You can do Imperial Poets, which gains you points for every figure that's killed. And the thing is that people, if they outbid you on any particular thing, there's still a chance you might win it because these go in order, right? Mm-hmm. And you stick them behind your shield, and you're just trying to choose because not only are you counting your force, your strength on the field, you're also doing this as well. It's like not a double-edged sword, but it's like a two-prong attack in a way.
You don't have to bet anything on there. You don't have to place money on there if you don't want to, which is great because you could use that to your advantage if you know you have a bigger battle that's coming up on the other side of the board.
Yeah.
Or in another province area. It really can work to your advantage. So, because if you lose that battle, the person who won has to give you all their coins.
Right. Or no, you split between everybody involved.
It depends. You split between everybody involved, which is phenomenal because you can use that to your advantage into a bigger battle.
And see, with this game though, I felt like the battling system, and also you're playing more in the long game. Granted, like for example in Blood Rage, when you're using the quest cards and stuff, you're kind of playing the long game a little bit. But in this game, you're setting up according to each province that actually has a battle flag ready to go, and when the war phase comes up, and you get to win the tiles, the basically your points at the end of the game.
Season 1 is 1 point, Season 2 is 2 points, Season 3 is 3 points.
And I'll be honest with you, when I first played this the first time, I did not like the battle system. This game, this is like an entire giant mind game. The entire game. You're playing mind games with everybody at the table.
I feel like Triple H when I play this game.
You just said the game, not about the game. So, but that's why when I went into it, I was going, and I came out of the first game, I was like, I don't know. But once we started playing more and kept on playing, I actually got to understanding that system better. It wasn't even that I didn't fully understand it. It's just I don't think I preferred it. And again, I had to get out of the mindset of loving this compared to this. I had to stop comparing. That was my big problem.
You were going with the strategy for Blood Rage and trying to
really was. And that was my own fault, and I know better than to do that when I go into a new game.
The other thing it was all that hype about this Blood Rage. This is new Blood Rage.
Insane amount of hype.
It's from the same designer.
And it's so different. It is so different.
It's completely different because when I first played Blood Rage, it was hard for me to get into. And I love Norse mythology. It's great. But I just didn't really get into this.
This is an excellently fine-tuned, awesome game.
I mean, this is like number 66 now on the top list on Board Game Geek.
Yeah.
But earlier when I looked at it, I glanced at it every couple of days, but earlier it was 68. And it's risen to 66.
It's risen fast. It's rising. It's rising. Yeah, really.
Rising sun.
Yeah, they named it right. It's definitely won me over.
I can't take my hands off these, man.
I know. This is why I wish we jumped on the Kickstarter ourselves, because we got to give this back to Greg, but maybe not. Love you, Greg. But he was kind enough to let us borrow the game for this review. But the more I played it, and the more I'm kicking myself, why didn't I jump on that? Yeah. But I've grown to love it. I will say this: the miniatures are even probably more detailed than Blood Rage. They're gigantic. The board takes up most of my table, or at least half of it.
You can't play this on a regular
You really
table.
can't. You can't. Not on a small card table.
Even this table, it was kind of cramped.
But you can still make it work. Yeah, you can still make it work. This is a 5-footer
poker table, pretty much.
5-footer. Where would you say you rank on this? From 1 to 10, 10 being the best?
You know, my thing is I don't ever give anybody a 10.
Here we go.
That's just the art side.
Until now.
That's just the art side. I mean, you know, I'm really.
He's OCD.
I'm at a 9 on this one, man. It's high up there.
From where I was, I'll tell you where I was the other day, and you're not going to like this. I was at about a 6. I'm just being honest, and I know I'm going to get hate probably.
As much as you talk this game up, you were at a 6.
Let me tell you where I was. I was at a 6. I was liking it. 6 is okay for me. And shut up. And so, anyway, he's going to keep on doing that. So I was at a 6. And then within a day or so, I just couldn't get my mind off of it. I was like, I can't wait to play this again. And then every day I was thinking, what could I have done differently that first time? And so for a game to start doing that to me means that I'm excited to jump back in. Mm-hmm. And so going from a 6 the other day to playing again, playing some more anyway, and getting more of the strategies, playing more of the clans, enjoying this. I've risen now, it's funny enough for rising, I've actually risen to about an 8 personally. That's going to be all for us. We thank you so much for watching the Dice Odyssey. And I know, like I said, there's a lot here. And man, it's just, we can't say enough good about it. Go check it out. If you hadn't played it yet, obviously try before you buy. But if you haven't played it yet, you got to get to this. If you like Blood Rage, even, I think you'll still like this game because of the fact that it is different enough to differentiate. I think you could keep both in your collection. I want this game for my collection alongside my favorite game. And like I said, worth every penny. Worth every penny.
Every penny.
Anyway, thank you again. We appreciate you. And by the way, have you had a chance to play? I was about to say Blood Rage.
Have you played Rising Sun?
Have you played Rising Sun? Have you been able to play Blood Rage and Rising Sun? How would you compare, in your opinion? Because I've heard differences from so many different people who love one or the other or both. And what do you think? We really want to hear about that. So let us know down in the comments. Please like, subscribe if you hadn't done that. We appreciate you. Thank you again. You have a blessed day.
Game away.
Game away, baby.